Live basketball update, Alabama 68, Arkansas 67, final. Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Alabama will host Arkansas this morning at Coleman Coliseum. The conference game will tip off at 11 a.m. Central Time on the SEC Network. The Crimson Tide is coming off an impressive 97-83 win at Ole Miss, which snapped a two-game losing streak and gave UA its second road victory in league play. Alabama hit 14 of the 22 three-pointers for a season-best 63.6%. Guard Jaden Shackelford scored a career-high 30 points and tied his career-high of 8 made threes en route to the 14-point win. Arkansas comes into Saturday's game having won 9 consecutive contests. Most recently, the Razorbacks toppled number 1 Auburn, 80-76. Last Tuesday night in front of a record home crowd of 20,327. Guard J.D. Nodi had 28 points to lead the Hogs to the program's second win ever versus the nation's top-ranked team. Today's matchup will be the 66th meeting in series history, with Arkansas owning a 35-30 all-time edge. It will be the only contest played in the regular season between the two teams. The game can be followed here, as well as with the following links: watch, listen, stat. Keep up with live scoring updates in the space below by refreshing the page. And be sure to join the ongoing game discussion on the Bama Online Roundtable by clicking here. Pre-game today's officiating crew: Don Daly, Patrick Evans, and Will Howard. Alex Chiku isn't going through warm-up. He has a brace on his right wrist. Chiku hasn't played since November 28. Alabama starters versus Arkansas: J.D. Davison, Jaden Shackelford, Kean Ellis, Juwan Gary, and Noah Gurley. Davison in for Javan Quinterly, Gurley in for Charles Bediako. First half, Darius Miles is the first Alabama player off the bench, replacing Juwan Gary at the 1800 hours mark. Arkansas J.D. Nodi picks up his second foul at the 16:19 mark. SEC's leading scorer heads to the bench. Alabama 9, Arkansas 9. Crimson Tide has only attempted threes to start the game, making 3 of them so far. Alabama 19, Arkansas 14. To the delight of the UA student section, Juzon Holt makes his second 3 of the season. The Tide is now 5 of 10 from deep. Alabama 28. Arkansas 20 Hogs with 3 straight offensive rebounds on 1 possession to take a 13-11 edge on the glass, including a 9-3 lead in 0 boards. Alabama 28, Arkansas 24. UA has 3 turnovers and hasn't scored in the last 3:08. While Arky goes on a 6-0 run. Timeout, half, hashtag Alabama 37, Arkansas 32 pic at twitter.com/OZ5CLPZMLE equivalent. Charlie Potter February 12, 2022. Second half Alabama 43, Arkansas 35. Noah Gurley picks up his third foul and limps off the floor, favoring his ankle. He heads to the locker room with UA trainer Clark Holter. Alabama 48, Arkansas 35. Darius Miles drills a 3, leading to an Arkansas timeout. The Tide is on an 11-3 run to open the 2H. Gurley is back on the bench and is stretching out his left ankle. Alabama 55, Arkansas 44. After a 6-0 run for Arkansas, UA goes on a 7-3 run of its own with all 7 scored by J.D. Davison. Alabama 61, Arkansas 51. James Rojas picks up his 4th foul of the game. Charles Bediako, J.D. Davison, and Noah Gurley also have 3 fouls apiece. Alabama 61, Arkansas 60. J.D. Nodi drains a 3 to give Arkansas an 11-0 run over the last 3:10. Nate Oates calls a timeout. Alabama 68, Arkansas 67. Call on the court is Alabama ball, but it is under review. Meanwhile, Coleman Coliseum is on its feet. Final, hashtag Alabama 68. Arkansas 67 pic at twitter.com/7of4rmgusu. Charlie Potter February 12, 2022. Did you know that BOL has a podcast? The Bama Online Podcast brings you the latest Alabama news and insight from Travis Reier, Charlie Potter, Hank South, and Tim Watt. Catch the latest episode right here or subscribe on iTunes today. Contact Charlie Potter by personal message or on Twitter.